May 7th, 1915. 18 minutes. That's all it took for the pride of the Cunard Line, one of the fastest, most luxurious ocean liners ever built, to vanish beneath the Irish Sea. 1,198 souls gone. A nation on the brink of war pushed over the edge. But this wasn't just a tragedy. It was a pivot point. The moment neutral America began to bleed into the Great War. And it all started with a warning that almost no one believed. She was a marvel. 687 feet of British engineering, 32,000 tons, 4 steam turbines that could push her to 26 knots, faster than most warships of the day. The Kaiser himself had once called her the most beautiful ship in the world. Passengers called her the Greyhound of the Seas. First-class staterooms rivaled the Ritz, a glass-domed dining saloon, a nursery with rocking horses, and on this voyage, May 1st, 1915, she carried 1,959 passengers and crew, among them 159 Americans. But the world outside those polished railings was unraveling. 10 months earlier, Archduke Franz Ferdinand had been assassinated in Sarajevo. By August, Europe was at war. Germany versus the Allies, Britain, France, Russia. And in February 1915, Kaiser Wilhelm's admirals declared the waters around the British Isles a war zone. Any ship, neutral or not, could be sunk on sight. The German embassy in Washington took out full-page ads in American newspapers. "Notice," they blared, "travelers sailing in the war zone on ships of Great Britain do so at their own risk." Most passengers laughed it off. The Lusitania was too fast, too big, too British. The Royal Navy would protect her. Besides, America was neutral. President Woodrow Wilson had said it himself. "We are the one great nation that can keep cool." But cool heads don't stop torpedoes. Captain Turner had crossed the Atlantic 200 times. He'd commanded Lusitania since 1907. He knew these waters like his own backyard. On May 6th, as the ship steamed past the Scilly Isles, the British Admiralty wired a warning. Submarines active off south coast of Ireland. Turner adjusted course, zigzagging slightly, reducing speed in fog. Standard procedure. He had no idea U-20 was already hunting. Schwieger was no madman. He was a professional, a Naval Academy graduate, married, a father. He'd already sunk 3 ships on this patrol. His orders were clear: disrupt British supply lines. But he kept a diary, and in it he wrote with chilling detachment: clean bow shot. Ship stops immediately and begins to list. On the morning of May 7th, U-20 was low on fuel, low on torpedoes. Schwieger was heading home. Then at 1:20 p.m., his lookout spotted smoke on the horizon. Schwieger didn't hesitate. 1 torpedo, G7 type, loaded with 300 pounds of TNT, fired from 700 meters. The first blast was the torpedo. The second, no one knows for sure. Coal dust, boilers, aluminum powder in the cargo, secret munitions. The British denied it. The Germans screamed conspiracy. But in that moment, it didn't matter. Lusitania listed hard to starboard. Lifeboats swang wildly. Passengers screamed. 18 minutes. That's how long she had. Captain Turner stayed on the bridge, refused to leave. He said, "I'll go down with her." But the sea had other plans. A wave swept him overboard. He survived, clinging to a chair for 3 hours. 1,198 dead, 761 survived. Among the lost, 128 Americans. Wilson ran for re-election in 1916 on the slogan, "He kept us out of war." Now the press screamed for blood. German Americans marched in protest. British propaganda flooded the papers. "Remember the Lusitania." Medals were struck showing skeletal Germans cheering the sinking. But Wilson waited. He demanded Germany stop unrestricted submarine warfare. Germany promised, but only for a while. Then, January 1917, Germany resumed unrestricted attacks. The Zimmermann telegram, intercepted by British intelligence, offered Mexico a chance to reclaim Texas, New Mexico, Arizona if they joined Germany. Wilson asked Congress for war on April 6, 1917. America entered the war. Doughboys shipped out, Liberty bonds sold, and the Lusitania, long rusting on the seabed, became the ghost that haunted every decision. But was she carrying munitions? Did the British want her sunk to pull America in? And why did she go down so fast? We'll dive into the cargo manifest, the inquiries, the lies, and the truth next. 18 minutes, one ship, a war that lasted 4 more years, and a question that still echoes. Was the Lusitania a victim or a sacrifice? She lies on her starboard side 11 miles off the old head of Kinsale. The Irish coast is a rumor above. Down here, time stopped on May 7, 1915. A child's doll floats past the camera lens. A grand piano is pinned beneath a fallen funnel. And somewhere in the forward holds, crates that were never meant to see daylight. Munitions, not bombs, not artillery shells, but 173 tons of rifle cartridges. Perfectly legal under American neutrality laws, perfectly lethal if ignited. The British Admiralty knew, the Germans suspected, and the passengers, they were told the ship was safe as a church. But was that the whole truth? The official British inquiry, led by Lord Mersey in 1915, cleared Captain Turner and Cunard of blame. The second explosion, they said coal dust in empty bunkers. They claimed the Germans fired 2 torpedoes. Schwieger's log says 1. And the cargo, they concluded, no explosives. Case closed. But the manifest told a different story, and the story didn't end in 1915. Witnesses on the bridge saw a column of water 200 feet high, then a second plume, black, oily, laced with coal. The starboard boiler room flooded instantly. Steam pipes burst. The longitudinal bulkhead, designed to keep her afloat, collapsed like paper. Why so fast? According to naval architect Dr. Eric Grove, the cargo was a factor, but not the factor. The real killer? Design. Lusitania was built for speed, not survival. Her watertight compartments didn't reach high enough. Her portholes, open for ventilation in calm weather, became funnels for the sea. Only 6 of 48 lifeboats launched properly. One capsized, spilling 50 souls. Another was swamped by a funnel collapse. Captain Turner, clinging to the bridge wing, shouted orders no one could hear. The wireless operator, Robert Leith, sent SOS after SOS. Come at once, big list, 10 miles south Old Head Kinsale. Help was 30 miles away. The first rescue ship, the trawler Bluebell, arrived 2 hours later. She pulled 150 from the water, hypothermic, oil-soaked, silent. Among them, Alfred Vanderbilt, millionaire, heir to the railroad fortune, seen giving his life belt to a woman with a baby. His body never found. Charles Frohman, Broadway producer, last words, "Why fear death? It is the most beautiful adventure in life." And Elbert Hubbard, writer. He and his wife locked arms and walked into the sea together. 3 mass graves, 1,198 names, 600 never identified. The inquests began immediately, in Queenstown, in London, in New York. The Admiralty blamed Turner privately, publicly, Germany. But whispers persisted. Winston Churchill, First Lord of the Admiralty in 1915, wrote in a memo, "It is most important to attract neutral shipping to our shores in the hope especially of embroiling the United States with Germany." Did Britain sacrifice Lusitania to force America's hand? No evidence proves deliberate sacrifice, but the Admiralty did track U-20's movements. They did fail to provide an escort, and they did allow open portholes in a war zone. Negligence or calculation? The Germans saw it as justification. Kaiser Wilhelm awarded Schwieger the Pour le Mérite, Germany's highest honor, then quietly ordered passenger liners spared. Too late, the damage was done.
Public opinion shifted overnight. German Americans were shunned. Sauerkraut became liberty cabbage. But Wilson held back. He sent 3 notes to Germany, sharp, legalistic. Germany apologized, paid reparations, promised restraint. Then, 1917, unrestricted warfare resumed. The Zimmermann telegram, revolution in Russia. April 6, 1917, Congress declares war. 2 million Americans would cross the Atlantic. The war ended 19 months later, but Lusitania's shadow lingered. In 1967, Britain sold the wreck to an American diver for £1,000. In 1995, Ireland declared it a heritage site. Today, she's a war grave. Diving is restricted, but the questions remain. Was the second explosion munitions, coal dust, boilers? Did Britain bait the trap? Did America need a martyr? 18 minutes, 1 torpedo, a chain of choices, some reckless, some ruthless, some tragic. The Lusitania didn't cause America's entry into the war, but she made it inevitable. And beneath the waves, she still whispers, "Remember me."